What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Thanks for watching. This is video number 2. We're going to blind taste our second wine out of 6 today. And just a reminder, if you didn't see the first video, all of these wines are coming from a Master of the World blind tasting kit. So if you haven't seen that video, please check it out. The link for that and the Master of the World website will be in the description below. So make sure you check those all out. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Hit that like button right down there. It's the best way to show your support. And hit subscribe because we're going to blind taste 4 more wines after this. So I don't want you to miss out on any of those. But for now, let's taste some wine.
The go-getter, the go-getter. I got a table at the Rainbow Room. I told my wife I'd be home soon. Big ships are approaching the docks. I got my high-five blown by. Mashed potatoes in cellophane. I see my life going down the drain. Hold me, baby, and don't let go. Pretty girls help to soften
Okay, here we go.
the blow.
Wine number 2 is a white wine. It is free of gases, free of flocculation. It is clear. It is gold in color, of light intensity, a little bit of a goldish rim, maybe a little brass, a little bit of silver on the rim, but nothing really to talk about. The color depth is medium. I'd say medium plus, but that's not an option on Master of the World. So, on the nose. The wine is sound. The wine is of medium intensity. The development here is youthful. Fruits, we've got some lemon, key lime, Meyer lemon, yellow pear, brown pear, yellow apple, a little bit of an apricot kind of thing. Definitely some pineapple to talk about as well. Flowers, we're going to get into honeysuckle. We're going to talk a little bit about some apple blossom here. No real green vegetables to talk about, like an oniony kind of thing. Green onion, a little bit of asparagus, but nothing too crazy. Other vegetables to talk about, maybe a little corn, maybe a little yellow beet, squash, herbal, a little bit of like a chamomile tea, white tea kind of thing. Tea leaves, I think, are really important when we're talking about wine here. Maybe a little lemon verbena and parsley. Spices, there's definitely some cinnamon, maybe a little bit of like a mustardy kind of thing. Earth, for sure. Let's talk about some chalky limestone minerality. Let's talk about some dustiness. A little bit of like this really pretty kind of white truffle thing going on. Do I think there's oak in the wine? Yes, I do think there's oak on the wine. This wine definitely smells like vanilla and baking spices, like the cinnamon I talked about earlier. As well, it's got this kind of like this allspice nutmeg kind of thing going on. It's got a little like a toasty, buttery kind of note to it. Chemical compounds to talk about, nothing crazy, but winemaking, yeah, this wine definitely smells like it's been aged on the lees, so it's got this creamy, kind of sour cream richness kind of thing on the nose to it. And it seems to be medium plus in complexity. All right, on the palate, the wine is sound. The wine is dry. Acid level is medium. The alcohol level is medium plus. Body of the wine is medium plus. No real phenolics to talk about. The texture of the wine is round and smooth. The flavor intensity is medium plus, and the complexity, I think, is medium plus. No other... Nothing else that I didn't say on the nose is really jumping out at me. So we can talk about this wine being from the old world, from a moderate climate. So I think we can talk about this wine being from the new world, from a warm climate. That alcohol is really kind of lingering a little bit. I might bump that up to high. I think that this definitely has pretty typical feel to it of a wine from a place like that. This could be Chardonnay, this could be Viognier from the United States, possibly Australia or New Zealand, something like that. I think it's a young wine, so it's probably 2016 or younger. Final conclusion on wine number 2, I'm gonna call this a 2016 Chardonnay from California in the United States of medium plus quality. From let's say it's from Sonoma County, pretty warm. So let's say Alexander Valley, because it's a little bit of a warmer place in that county. That was a tough one. That was a tough one. Okay. So I want to focus on kind of 2 different sections of the grid today. Number 1 that I mentioned I missed earlier, the fruit condition and the part of the fruit here is super important. As you can see on condition, It ranges from underripe to fresh to ripe to jammy to candied to raisinated and dried. These can all be clues of where the wine comes from. The cooler the climate, generally the more underripe and tart a fruit flavor will be in a wine. And then the warmer the climate or hotter the climate, the more jammy, baked, candied, and raisinated the wines can be. Think about like an Australian Shiraz. Barossa is a very, very warm, hot growing region, and those wines are big and jammy, and some people say gooey. I like to say delicious, but that's another video. The custard and yogurt option there, to me, that's not something I've thought about too much, but right now it kind of speaks to like maybe an oak or a winemaking kind of idea that you would get there. So maybe the wine has seen some oak. Maybe we'll talk about some winemaking here in a second about that. And then the part of the fruit is also important. The flesh versus the peel versus the pith. The flesh would be really a kind of bigger, juicier style of wine. Whereas the peel or the zest could just be like, that really pure flavor, maybe a little bit more of an oily characteristic that could be representative of a specific grape variety or two or three. And then the pith, kind of the same thing. Certain grape varieties will have kind of a little bit more of a bitter thing, could be an underripe kind of quality to the wine as well. So just a really good way to get clues when blind tasting. And the second part of the grid that I want to focus on today is right here, the perceived winemaking choices. I'll comment on these relating to white wine real fast. A botrytis or a late harvest wine will show a honey, saffron, spicy ginger kind of quality to the wine. That should lead us to certain grapes or certain regions of the world that would classically make these wines. Fortified wines are wines that have added alcohol, sherry, or a port style of wine. If a wine seems really, really hot and you think it could be above like 15.5% alcohol, that wine very well could be fortified. Lees contact. When a wine is aged on the dead yeast cells, it will develop a bit more texture and like a sour cream, yogurty type of feel. As well, you'll find some smoky notes to talk about, maybe a little bit of like a gritty mineral feel to the palate as well. Malolactic fermentation, or ML. Like Lees, ML will give the wine like a really rich, creamy texture, but even more so. This is when you'll get into the butter, heavy cream, popcorn, and banana notes in a wine. The wine we just blind tasted in this video definitely has plenty of malolactic notes to talk about. Skin contact. This can express itself in like a phenol type of bitterness, maybe a little astringency, or maybe even like a deeper golden or pink kind of coloring to the wine. Not super common in white wine, but it can be a clue if you're blind tasting a Pinot Grigio or a Pinot Gris. And regarding the stems and the whole or partial cluster boxes, not something I really think about when I'm blind tasting a white wine. So if you have some ideas about that, what it tastes like, what it smells like, what grape varieties you think about, leave it in the comments. We'll talk about it down there. For tasting structure, remind ourselves of our 2016 Alexander Valley Chardonnay call. And hey, it looks like we did pretty well again. 3 out of 5 on sensory, which was better than I believe the 1 we got last time, and 4 out of 5 on deduction. So it sounds like we almost nailed the wine. And if you look over on the left side there, I just noticed myself that we get 4 out of 6 grapes as an overall score and a thumbs up. I think we got a nice effort last time, which is not as good because it was 2 grapes, I think. But here we have the wine, 2017 Oberon Carneros Chardonnay. So yeah, pretty close. Carneros, the only AVA that is in both Napa and Sonoma County at the southern tip of both. Cooler climate compared to the rest of Napa Valley and Alexander Valley and Sonoma for sure. So yeah, we're pretty close here. I believe Oberon is on the Napa side, so I don't think we got credit for our Sonoma call, but you got to be pretty happy with that one. Let's scroll on down. All right, so under sight, we kind of missed the color a little bit again. Light gold versus deep straw. That's a tough distinction, but okay. And I should have said there was green highlights. I didn't. That's dumb. I said it. I didn't put it on the grid though. Here on the fruits, looks like things were pretty good. As you can see, I missed a point there on the part of the fruit. Don't leave things blank. Dumb. It's really, really dumb. That's a no-no. Stone fruits, it was a little off there. And moving on down, the vegetables. I should have had some mushrooms and some ginger in there. They didn't like my corn call, which I really liked. But that's okay. More is always better, as long as you're making sense. Interestingly, they did not find any inorganic earth to talk about. For sure. Oak intensity, I said high, they said medium. Okay, that is definitely my bad. Oak influence, vanilla, allspice and cinnamon, not on there. Baking spice, yes. Nutmeg, yes. That's tough. But I think that's all right. Toast and caramel, sure. Absolutely. I believe I said toast in my tasting. So that was on there. I can only put in 3 choices on the grid. Anyways, oxidation, I didn't find any. And they wanted some almond, hazelnut, pecan. Yeah, for sure. I missed that. Chemical compounds, none. Perceived winemaking choices, malolactic and Lees, big time Chardonnay descriptors. And then on the structure, not bad. Acid, I called medium, and they liked it at medium plus. So my bad. Alcohol, I got okay. They thought there were some phenols in the wine. Try to find that next time. Texture, definitely creamy, buttery. We nailed that one. The finish, I left it blank. That's a no-no. All right, and on the deduction, 2016, I was 1 year off on the vintage. Chardonnay, New World, USA, California, Napa Valley, Carneros should have been the answer on the next one, I guess. Pretty good tasting. Lessons to be learned here. Don't overstate oak. Definitely think about winemaking, and don't leave anything blank. Get all the points you can. Thank you guys for watching the video. Hope you liked it. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you can see wines 3, 4, 5, and 6 coming out soon. And if you have any questions, put them down in the comments. We can discuss anything about the video down there. And if you want to get a blind tasting kit for yourself, don't forget to check out mtwwines.com.
The go-getter, the go-getter. I got a table at the Rainbow Room. I told my wife I'd be home soon. Big ships are approaching the docks. I got my high-five blown by. Mashed potatoes in cellophane. I see my life going down.